Hey guys, Wevis here and welcome to another card review. Today we're going to talk about the cards that were revealed in the official Hearthstone stream earlier today. And yeah, we've got some really exciting cards to talk about today. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, we start off with Druid. And the first card is a 4 mana legendary. It's a Druid legendary called Fandral Staghelm. It's a 3/5, so the stat line is okay, but the card effect is insane, alright? The card effect is your choose one cards have both effects combined. So we are looking at cards like Druid of Claw, Keeper of the Grove. Even though it's nerfed, now it suddenly becomes really good, right? A lot of people were talking about like I should just play Spellbreaker instead of Keeper of the Grove, because Spellbreaker is 4/3 with silence and Keeper of the Grove is only like 2/2 with silence, right? And it's the same 4 mana. But the thing is, you need to remember that you're paying the mana for the choice, right? And now that the choice is totally negated with this card, you totally can choose both. It's insane, like, so. But the thing is, for in the case of Keeper of the Grove, you will both be dealing 2 damage first and then silencing the minion. So yeah, you have to be careful of what you do with your cards, but a lot of different effects. Like you can Ancient of War and totally uproot and stay rooted at the same time. That's super insane. Druid of the Claw, you can charge while having a 4/6 taunt. That's crazy. And not to mention the spells, right? Wrath, you can deal 4 damage and draw a card. Raven Idol, you can discover a minion and then a spell. That's insane. And then what else is good? Yeah, Mark of the Wild. Yeah, Mark of the Wild is pretty good. And Power of the Wild is also pretty good, right? Mark of the Wild, you 2/2 plus taunt, and no, that's fine. Power of the Wild, sorry. Power of the Wild, you summon a Panther, then you add a +1/+1. That's actually pretty insane. So yeah, Mark of the Wild also. Yeah, Mark of the Wild also. So yeah, all of these are really good, and this is insane. It's a 4 mana, so basically you can only combo it with at most a 6 mana card or a few 2 mana cards, 3 mana cards. So it's not OP, but it's definitely insane if it stays on the board, right? It's like Brand Bronzebeard. If it stays on the board, you're pretty much in for a hard time. But this is a very good legendary. I rate it up there alongside Aviana, which is actually pretty good. So yeah, good card. Next card from Druid is a 1 mana 1/1 Forbidden Ancient, right? But actually it's not a 1 mana cost. It says spend all your mana, gain a +1/+1 for each mana spent. So for example, if you're spending it on turn 10 without doing anything else, this becomes a 10/10, right? Because you spend 1 mana to summon this, and the remaining mana will be spent on adding the stats, right? So if you say you are at 8 mana, you cast this, you get an 8/8, right? Yeah, that's how it works. Alright, so don't be mistaken that when you cast this, it's suddenly at turn 10 it becomes an 11/11. And that's what Ben wrote, kind of made a mistake. But yeah, because you need to spend 1 mana on this, that's why it becomes a 10/10. Flexible card. I believe all the other classes have a flexible card like that as well. So it kind of introduces a form of playability. So basically this card can be played with like any deck, right? As long as you kind of, if you kind of really don't have anything else to play, you can play this and hope for the best, right? It's decently cost. Basically, if you only have 1 mana, you 1/1, it's fine. And basically the rule of thumb is whatever mana you spend, you will get like a stat line of 1/1, right? So yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, next card is 3 mana 2/2. The stat line is not good, so the effect must be insane, right? So it says here, after you summon a minion, give it a +1/+1. So when we first saw the Force of Nature nerfs, right, we kind of thought that it was kind of bad because it's like 5 mana to 2/2. But now, if you play Force of Nature with this card, Adult Grizzly, you get a 5 mana free, and that is actually insane, right? That is actually bonkers. It's so hard to clear a free other than Flame Strike. Even Blizzard doesn't clear it. So it's a very good effect alongside Force of Nature. Other kinds of effects that it works with is actually the Raptor, the Mounted Raptor, right? So for example, a Mounted Raptor dies. Okay, you cast a Mounted Raptor with Adult Grizzly on the board. It becomes a 4/3. And when a 4/3 dies, it summons a 1 mana cost minion that also gets +1/+1. So it's actually really good. Like so good, out of control. And even when you play it with Cenarius, right? If you play it with Cenarius and you summon the 2/2 Treants with Taunt, those 2/2 Treants will also get +1/+1. So the combo is Adult Grizzly into Cenarius. Insane value. Insane value. I mean, even with Dark Whispers, right? Or Whispers of the Old Gods, right? It's actually really good. Like, okay, what's Whispers of the Old Gods again? Where's my Druid card? Druid. Yeah, Whispers of the Old Gods, right? You just summon 7 Wisps. Technically, you don't have space for 7, so you have 6, right? And it's +1/+1. So, like, what? 6 +1, 6 2/2 Wisps? That's actually still pretty good. Except, you know, you get Consecrate, you get Board Clear and whatnot. But, yeah, Adult Grizzly, it's an insane card. Remove it as soon as you can, otherwise you're in for a bad time. Again. Okay, for the last Druid card that was revealed earlier today, it's a 3 mana spell called Feral Rage, and it has an effect: choose one, give your hero +4 attack this turn, or gain 8 armor. Okay, at first you kind of think like, what the heck, 8 armor? That's insane, right? But when you look at other cards like Healing Touch, it also heals you for 8 health. This is 8 armor, so maybe you can overheal, so-called overheal, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? And and Healing Touch is only 2 mana. This is 3 mana. So, which is better? It's up to you to decide. Basically, what you're paying here, the extra 1 mana you're paying here is the choice, right? You can choose whether you want to do a 4 attack move or you want to do a heal for 8, right? And don't get me started with Fandral with Feral Rage. You like gain 8 armor and +4 attack. That is like, even Bite doesn't give you that kind of value, right? Bite gives you 4 armor and 4 attack, and it's 4 mana. This is 3 mana, 4 attack, and 8 armor. Oh, sign me up for that, man. Sign me up. But yeah, so basically it's a mix between Healing Touch and Bite. You choose one, so you pay the extra cost to choose one. And yeah, except that this 4 attack doesn't give you 4 armor. So it's up to you to decide. I think it's a good card, especially if you want to play a Fandral deck. Play as many choose one cards as you want. This effect is insane as long as you can keep it in the board. Okay, next we move on to Hunter. Hunter, we have a Infested Wolf. It's a 4 mana free, and this is technically your new Haunted Creeper. All right. Like, Haunted Creeper is getting rotated out of Standard, so we have Infested Wolf. It's a Hunter only card, which is good because other people cannot play this card, and you know, like a token. So token druids, I'm sorry, but you gotta deal with this Infested Wolf on your own. So it's a free. The stat line is actually pretty good already, and then it summons two 1/1 spiders, right? So technically the stat line is 5/5, right? And yeah, it's pretty good. It kind of brings me back to the scenario where I was talking about how these 2 cards were bad. Princess Huhuran, which says that trigger a friendly minion's Death Rattle effect. Well, now Princess Huhuran can work with its Infested Wolf, or the new card called Fiery Bat, which I'll talk about later. Well, other than that, it can also trigger a yeah. No, there are no other Death Rattle cards in Hunter, but there are definitely other Death Rattle cards in the neutral, which we'll talk about later. So yeah, Infested Wolf, it's insane. It's very good tempo for mid-range Hunter, and we definitely will see play for this guy. This guy's insane. And let me tell you, and the spiders that spawn, they're not spectral spiders, they are beasts. They are actual spiders, so they are considered beasts. So basically hunters have a lot of beast synergy now. Last time Haunted Creeper, when it dies, it's a spectral spider, so it's not a beast. But now these spiders are beasts. So yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, the next hunter card, it's not much. It's a vanilla free mana card with 2/5 stats. That's actually just that's it. That's nothing to talk about. Nothing special, except for the beast synergy, right? Anything else is just like whatever. Playing this with Hellmaster might be pretty good, but anything other than Hellmaster or like Sable Master, I think it's just okay. Yeah, it's whatever. At least it gives hunters another free mana card to play, right? But why would hunters play this card when they have things like Kill Command, Animal Companion, right? Yeah, there are too many free drops that are good for hunters, so Carrion Grub, not so good. Okay, next card, we have one mana card called On the Hunt. So deal 1 damage, summon a doggy, 1/1 doggy. Okay, this 1/1 doggy does not have charge, but you deal 1 damage first. It's like Elven Archer, right? It's technically an Elven Archer. Come on, you cannot tell me otherwise. Okay, it's technically an Elven Archer that is a beast. Okay, so once again, beast synergy, but pretty much Elven Archer, that's a beast. That's nothing much to talk about. Oh yeah, it's a spell, so Mirror Entity doesn't really work here, so maybe you want to take note of that. So Elven Archer, when you play it, right, the Mirror Entity will proc, but when you play this one, Mirror Entity will not proc. Instead, it will proc Spellbenders, proc Counterspell. So yeah, hunters get an alternative to play around like mages, I guess. Okay, then the next card, of course, it has to be the Fiery Bat, right? Fiery Bat is definitely a shout out to the Season 1 World Champion, Fiery Bat from the US. He's in Cloud9 right now, and he's a pretty good player. So let's look at his text right now. It's a 1 mana 2/1, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Alright, this is technically the Hunter's Leper Gnome right now. It's technically not so much as the Leper Gnome that was nerfed, because the nerfed Leper Gnome was 1 mana 1 1 was it 1/1? 1 mana 1/1, deal 2 damage to hero, right? This one deals damage to random enemies, so decent, I guess. Not so good, but well, it's nerfed, right? They nerfed it for a reason. So actually, still playable. Still good. I would play this card if I were going Smork. So yeah, Smork it. Smork for the win. Okay, let's move on to Mage. Alright, wow, this card. Okay, it's an 8 mana, 8/6. Anomalous. It's a legendary Mage card, and Death Rattle deal 8 damage to all minions, meaning total board clear. Super explosive sheep, man. Like explosive sheep, right? So basically, how you play this card is very important, right? If you are playing, say, a tempo mage and you play this card, you're kind of screwing yourself over, right? So technically, you can only play it like in a very control-based mage, like maybe freeze mage, or maybe even Reno mage. Yeah, Anomalous will be a really good card, but there is a catch, alright? A lot of people confuse this card with Chillmaw. Chillmaw has Taunt. This guy does not have Taunt, so you have to be really careful when playing this card. Because if an enemy has a full minion board, what they would do is they would hit your face first before clearing the Anomalous. And then you need to calculate how much damage he can deal to you. If it's lethal, you can't really play Anomalous anyway, right? You play Anomalous, it just does nothing, right? It just sits there and you die anyway. So it doesn't, it's not good in the sense that it's a legendary that doesn't do anything at first. It threatens board, sure, it threatens lethal if possible, but legendaries are good only if they do something once you cast them, right? So Anomalous is okay if you have Ice Block or Ice Barrier on, but might not be as playable as many people think it might be. So yeah. Yeah, next card is Cult Sorcerer. It's a 2 mana, free 2. The stat line is actually pretty good. So it has spell damage +1, and after you cast a spell, give your Kafun +1/+1 wherever it is. So basically, they're trying to advocate Kafun Mage as well, and yeah, +1 plus pretty much the spell damage +1 is something like what's that called? You know, take candle, right? So it's a little bit more potent in the sense that it gives Kafun +1/+1, and it's free 2 instead of 2/2. So decent, might be playable if you're playing Kafun. And the last mage card is a 2 mana spell called Shatter, and yeah, it says destroy a frozen minion. So how the heck is this useful here? It may sound like it's an insane card, right? But you think about a lot of the different kind of situations you'll be in to be able to use this card, right? It's so situational. You need to either be able to blizzard the entire board before casting the spell, or Frost Nova, or Cone of Cold, or Ice Lance, or Frostbolt. There's so many cards that you need to use before using this card. So is this a good card? I'm not so sure. I mean, if you can milk the value of this card, for example, if you Frost Nova and then you can kill, say, a Molten Giant with it, then yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, it's very situational, Shatter. It's very situational. If you can milk the value of this card, it's gonna be insane. But yeah, I think Polymorph would be better. It costs a little bit more, but it's a little bit stable. You see, it only destroys a frozen minion, right? It doesn't. Okay. I would have changed this card to say destroy a frozen minion. If it's not frozen, freeze it, right? So that would make it a little bit more playable. But now it's like a Shadowwood Pain or Shadowwood Death that has a prerequisite of having it frozen, right? Okay, so even if we have things like Demented Frostcaller, right? Demented Frostcaller freezes a random enemy character, right? So, like, what? If it freezes the wrong character and then you cannot shatter the one you want, then it's what are you doing with your life? It's not. It's just too situational. I don't like it. Okay, next card, Paladin. We have this card. Oh my god, this is a card. Rallying Blade, 3 mana, free 2, right? You're looking at a fiery war axe with a text, right? So the text must be good, right? So let's take a look. It's a battle cry. Give a +1/+1 to your minions with divine shield. Anyway, Tsutsuro, welcome to the stream. So at first glance, it might be confused with Sword of Justice, right? But do not confuse this with Sword of Justice, right? Okay, let's look at Sword of Justice. Sword of Justice says, after you summon a minion, give it +1/+1 and this loses 1 durability, right? This is losing durability when you summon a minion. What happens here is you give a +1/+1 straight away. It's a battle cry. So how does it work? I think the best way to use this card is to make it use it with Stand Against Darkness, right? So when you use Stand Against Darkness, you summon 5 1/1 Silver Hand recruits, and then you play Rallying Blade. So yeah, it becomes a 5 Silver Hand recruits with 2/2 with Divine Shield. That is totally nutballs. That is totally nutballs. So yeah, when we were talking about Stand Against Darkness, we were saying like, oh my god, it's such a bad card, it's so lousy. Master for Battle was so much better, but it's technically, okay, it's an 8 mana super Master for Battle, right? If we Stand Against Darkness and use Rallying Blade, it's like, wow, super Master for Battle. You have a free 2 weapon, and you have like 2/2 with Divine Shield, and you still have 3 mana to spare. What is a 3 mana card that can utilize a Divine Shield? Blood Knight. So yeah, if you really don't want the 2/2s with Divine Shield, you can have just a lot of 2/2s and a super huge Blood Knight, and that is amazing. That is so OP. Wait, what? They don't have Divine Shield? Give 1/1. Oh my god. Okay, okay. So, oh my god, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. So only minions with Divine Shield get +1/+1. Okay, then it's not that good. Oh my gosh. Alright. Wait. Restart! Restart! Okay, Rallying Blade, it gives +1/+1 to your minions with Divine Shield. So you need your minions to have Divine Shield first. Alright, so okay, it's still workable. Okay, it's still workable. What happens is, oh, we have 3 mana to spare, right? So a 10 mana combo will be to play Steward of Darkshire, alright? Which means that whenever you summon a 1 health minion, give it Divine Shield. So Steward of Darkshire into Stand Against Darkness, and then we play the weapon. How does that work? That makes everyone have 2/2s with Divine Shield, and you have a full board and a weapon. Super extreme master for battle. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay, so Rallying Blade is technically, because it only gives 1/1 to minions with Divine Shield, it's possible to milk value out of this, especially with the Steward of Darkshire. But it's also quite situational, so we'll see. The stat line is still pretty good though. 3/2, you get to kill off trade off a lot of minions on the board. So I wouldn't rate this too poorly, even though it has a very strict prerequisite. So yeah, so it's pretty good. 3 + 3 + 5. Oh no, god damn it. Does not equal 10. Oh no. Okay, fine. Alright, it's very situational, so not that good. But yeah. Okay, so we have the next card, a 1 mana 2/1 Selfless Hero. Give a random minion Divine Shield when it dies. Random minion with Divine Shield. At least it's a friendly minion, right? So I guess it's still good. It's something like an Argent Protector, but a little bit more random, and it's not a battle cry. So yeah, people are probably gonna kill off everything else before killing the Selfless Hero, right? So might be good. I mean, Paladins do need decent 1-drops. The only other 1-drop they have right now is what? A Vile Fin Inquisitor, and that's really not so good. Yeah, Divine Shield Pally is probably gonna be a thing, so yeah, we'll see. The next Paladin card, it's another spell. It's a 2 mana spell, a Light in the Darkness. Okay, so basically it's a 2 mana, discover a minion and give it +1/+1. Alright, I am not too sure that this card will be good. Simply because, like, okay, fine, you discover a minion, right? You're discovering a Paladin minion more often than not. So let's look at all the Paladin minions that we have in Whispers of the Old Gods, right? We have Ragnaros, okay, technically it's fine. A 9/9 with 8 healing, that's pretty good. Vile Fin is not so good. Selfless, nah. You don't want to spend a 2 mana in order to get a 1 mana. It's like whatever. A 3 mana, the Steward of Darkshire is okay, and well, the best Paladin card that you can actually discover is Tyrian Fort Ring, right? So if you discover a Tyrian Fort Ring and give it +1/+1, basically your Tyrian Fort Ring is BGHable. It's 7/7, and it's like, bam, you're dead again. Like, you're putting your Tyrian at risk. Why would you put Tyrian at risk? I mean, it's not as if, like, I see Tyrian, I wouldn't pick it. I would still pick it, but yeah, it's still kind of, I'm not sure. Like, we'll really have to see whether this card is good or not. We really have to see it. Anyway, next one, we have a 1 mana spell, Divine Strength, give a minion 1 +1/+2. Technically, this is Avenge version 2, right? Basically, it's no longer a secret, and the stat line it gives is not +3/+2, right? It's +1/+2. So it's not that good. But you need to consider the other combos that we can do with Paladin, right? We have Steward of Darkshire that gives Divine Shield. We have other cards that give Divine Shield as well, like Selfless Hero. So, like, once your minions have Divine Shield, suddenly you add on to it by giving a minion +1/+2. Basically, I can see combos like what's the a Dragonkin Sorcerer, right? The Dragonkin Sorcerer with Divine Shield, plus Divine Strength, and maybe you can play like Blessing of Kings later on, and then what? Oh my god, Blessing of Might. That would be OP. Yeah, I do know that the BGH is getting nerfed, but it's still playable, right? It's now balanced per se. So yeah, people are still gonna play BGH, like a little bit less often, but it's still gonna be there. It's still gonna be there, especially since everybody's gonna be playing Control, and there's so many huge minions in the new meta, right? That is to come. BGH is definitely gonna be played, definitely. Alright, so that's the Paladin cards. Let's go move on to Priest. We have a crazy Cthulhu card. That's a 5 mana 6/5. The stat line is already insane. And then we have a Battle Cry. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, restore 10 health to your hero. Alright? If you actually watched the stream earlier today, it actually is quite insane, especially when you have your Cthulhu that does so that is already 10 attack, right? So it heals your hero for 10 health. That is crazy. Do you still play Buzzard? Nah, I don't play Buzzard. Okay, so like Frodan couldn't die when he had this card. Like he just couldn't die. He only died to a 36 Cthulhu later on, but that's another story. But yeah, Twilight Darkmender, it's so much healing, 10 health. 10 health! You know, if you thought Antique Healbot was obnoxious, you haven't seen this card yet. This is insane. All you have to do is make sure Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, and suddenly you have a very huge minion on the board that heals you for 10 health. That is crazy. That is nutballs. I would play this card. I would play a Cthulhu Priest. I would try it immediately after I get the expansion. Definitely. Holy crap, this is crazy. And then we have a next we have a spell. It's a 5 mana Power Word Tentacles. Give a minion +2/+6. Okay, this is technically the Valen's Chosen of the Whispers of the Old Gods. Basically, it's the buff card that priests are gonna get, except it doesn't give spell damage, right? It doesn't give you +1 spell damage. It just gives you a lot of health. Like 6 health is insane, right? And because BGH got nerfed and a lot of removals are getting like removed, like getting nerfed as well. Like silencers they cost more, and removals are kind of getting a little bit less important. Your minions are going to stick on the board, right? So giving a minion +2/+6, your minions are so going to stick on the board. They stick like glue. The only drawback is it's a 5 mana card, so literally you spend half of your mana if you're at turn 10 just to make sure your minion sticks on the board. So you really want to milk value out of this card by having a board already present at this point in time. So yeah. Anyway, next card. We have a 5 mana minion, Darkshire Alchemist with a 4/5 stat line. That's okay. And it restores 5 health, right? It's another healing card. Like if this is a healing card that's good, then you have this one, and if you have Brand Bronzebeard on the board, you can heal 20 or you can heal 10. What the heck? Priest suddenly heals so much, and Flash Heal is still available for Priest. So there's so much healing on the board for Priest now. Like a lot of people were complaining that Paladins have so much healing last time, right? Now, well, Priests definitely heal more than Paladins. Definitely. Alright, so yeah, good Battlecry card. It's something like a Urban Farseer, but much better. Okay, in the next Priest card, we have a 4 mana, 3/6, decent stat line, 3/6, so it has to be good, right? It has to do something with the text. So let's look at the text. Whenever a character is healed, give your Cthulhu +1/+1 wherever it is. So this has the potential to be nutballs as well, right? So if you have like a circle of healing, suddenly your Cthulhu is like, what, +10/+10? I don't know, this is crazy. Yeah, so Holy Nova would also be good. Uh, if you use like Twilight Dark Bender with Hooded Acolyte, it also gives it +1/+1. Give your Dark Side Alchemist, it also gives a +1/+1. So, well, Kafun Priests suddenly look very, very playable right now. They look extremely playable. Alright, let's good look at the rogue cards. This card, oh my god, this card. Another Kafun deck that is coming out is definitely Kafun Rogue. Blizzard is trying to make every single class play Kafun. I don't know why, but this is actually not balls. This was what happened to Froden earlier this morning. Blade of Kafun kills Kafun that has 16/16, so his Kafun has +16/+16, and he already had 20/20 Kafun, so it became like some kind of insane 36 Kafun, and Froden just died. He just died. He is... yeah, okay, so Blade of Kafun, it's a 9 mana, but the stat line is only 4/4, but the battle cry is just insane. Alright, if you play this, if you want to play this in arena, alright, people who play Kraken, they just drop this in. Oh wait, you can't play this in arena. Never mind. You can't play this in arena simply because Kafun cards are not playable in arena. So, yeah, this is insane. This is insane. In constructed, oh my god, you just hope that the rogue never ever draws Kafun, right? So, yeah, we'll see about that. Okay, and technically you can still shadow step this shit, right? So you can just keep destroying and destroying and this. Oh my god, this is crazy. This is crazy. Well, looks like a rogue got a buff instead of a nerf. Well, who needs Blade Flurry when you have Blade of Khatun, right? Oh, Bronze Beard? Oh my gosh. Okay. So the next card we have is a 1 mana Journey Below. Discover a Death Rattle card. Okay, so what kind of Death Rattle cards are available right now in the Whispers of the Old Gods? Let's take a look. The neutral cards, we have... let's slowly scan for... okay, we have Deathwing. Okay, you can discover a Deathwing, guys. What other Death Rattles can we discover? Twilight Summoner is not so good. That's not a thing. Any other Death Rattles? Corrupted Healbot, maybe not so good. Another Death Rattle, Tentacle on the Zoth, that's okay. I mean, you spend 1 mana to get a 1 mana. Zealous Initiate, also like not so good. Brood on the Zoth would be really good though. Brood of the Zoth. Death Rattle, give your minions +1/+1. This is a good Death Rattle to discover. Discover an Infested Torrent. It's also pretty good. It gives you a taunt and then it summons a 2/2 slime when it dies. So basically this is the Slash Belcher, right? Yeah. Polluted Hoarder, okay, decent. Any other Death Rattles we can find? I mean, we can only look at rogue Death Rattles now, right? So, we can discover Zariel Poison Mine. That's actually pretty nutballs, right? Discover a legendary, always a plus. Undercity Huckster, it's a half Burgle, also pretty good. So yeah, those are the Death Rattle cards you can discover. So do I think Journey Below is good? I think Journey Below is insane. It's pretty good. Yeah. Next card. We have a 4 mana South Sea Squid Face. It's a 4/4 stat line, so it pays for itself. But it also has a Death Rattle, give your weapon a +2 attack. So basically, Whispers of the Old Gods are kind of bringing pirates back, somewhat. But I'm not so sure if this card is good enough to be playable in a rogue deck. I mean, Blade Flurry is already like totally destroyed, right? So like, you kind of don't want to play around your weapons anymore as a rogue. You kind of want to play around your minions and your spells. Like Miracle Rogue would still be here. Mill Rogue still okay. Kafun Rogue definitely much more playable with this card. And yeah, Squid Face, I'm not so sure. I mean, it caters to the weapon rogue, but it's not that good anymore. Alright, so we have the next card, a spell, a 3 mana spell, Shadow Strike. Deal 5 damage to an undamaged character. Alright, it's super backstab, right? Super backstab. For a 3 mana stat line, I don't think it's that playable because a backstab is 0 mana, right? So if I'm gonna play 3 mana, I really want to kill something that's 5 health or less. So Shadow Strike, I will only at most put 1 in my deck if I'm actually gonna play it, because yeah, at least I'll need some kind of removal for large minions. But I also don't really like the mana cost. Maybe 2 mana would be fine. 3 mana a little bit too overcost, I guess. But yeah, this is still a card. Next card, we have a 1 mana 1/2 Bladed Cultist that combos into a +1/+1. So basically, like what Ben wrote said in the stream, you can coin into 2 Bladed Cultists and you have what? Turn 1, 2/3, 2/3. Like, who needs a our turn scrub, right? Bladed Cultist is a new thing. A 1 mana 2/3? Oh my gosh. The only other card I can think of that is a 1 mana 2/3 is like a Gadget Sun, right? And Zombie Chow that was rotated out of standard. So yeah. Shaman, we have Eternal Sentinel, a 2 mana 3/2. Battlecry, unlock all your overloaded mana crystals. So unlock all your mana crystals. Okay, basically, yeah, earlier today in the stream, we saw Frodan get his ass whooped by this card, right? Basically he played Elemental Destruction, everything got destroyed, and then just play Eternal Sentinel, right? It's something like a what's it called? A Lava Bird? Oh, no, it's not. Lava Shock that is actually a minion. So this is so good. Like another thing that unlocks mana crystals, I welcome it. As a Shaman player, this is good. Alright? Yeah, this is good, really good. Okay, next we have Evolve. It's a 1 mana spell. Transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 more. Right? Wow. If you play Totem Shamans, this is the card for you. If you play any other kinds of shamans, this is still the card for you. Like, I don't see anything that can go wrong with this card. I mean, sure, if you are really never lucky, then a 1 mana card will suddenly turn into a Doomsayer. Well, that's kind of never lucky. But any other kind, like, okay, 1 mana card can turn into Dionysus Aspirant, or that's not so good as well. But overall, this card has more goods than bads, and it is playable in any shaman deck. Any shaman deck. It is insane. Even aggro shamans will want to play this, because yeah, you will still have minions on the board, right? And when you evolve them, you could get really powerful minions that can go face, right? So aggro shamans will love this card. Totem shamans will also love this card. Everyone loves this card. This is a must play. Must play. Alright, next card. We have a 4 mana 7/7. We have a new Doctor 7 over here. It's a Flame Wreathed Faceless, Overload 2. Overload 2. So technically this is a 6 mana 7/7, right? Who needs War Golem when you can play this card? Like a 4 mana, you just, here you go, and like what you gonna do? It's not even turn 5 yet, so you can't BGH this shit, right? So this is actually nutballs as well, except that maybe the overload might cost you some tempo, but I don't think that matters. This is exactly why Totem Golem is also good, right? A 2 mana 3/4 is an insane nutballs, and people really find it really difficult to clear it. So yeah, this is tempo play. Okay, next card. We have a 2 mana Stormcrack. Deal 4 damage to a minion. Overload 1. Well, this is a burn card. Basically, it gives you more removal as a shaman, but I personally wouldn't play this as a smart shaman. So, because it doesn't go face, right? Any spell that doesn't go face is like whatever. And it's a 2 mana flame cannon that overloads 1, right? So it's technically a flame cannon that you can choose your target with. So you're paying 1 overload mana to choose your target. Yeah, it's okay. Like, fine, if you want to play Control Shaman, this might be the card for you. I mean, you can play this, then you play this, and then you play an Eternal Sentinel, you unlock all your crystals again. It's decent. Alright, next card. 1 mana spell, Primal Fusion. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. Okay, wow. If you're playing a totem shaman, you really want to play this card. So Totemic Tusker, and then you have like Totem Golem, you have your the totems I love girl. I don't know her name right now, but yeah, this might be good. +1/+1 for each of your totems, but is it really playable? It might be, I guess. Because it gives a minion, right? It doesn't give like +1/+1 across the board. It just gives one. So like if you have 3 totems, it will become a +3/+3. So might be playable. It's a 1 mana card, so I'm still not sold on the whole totem shaman thing, right? Because when they actually introduced so many totem cards in the grand tournament, in the end, totem shaman still didn't get played as much. So yeah, totem shamans, this might be the change that you need, but I don't think so. Alright, we have a warlock cards. Anyway, yeah, the delay is kind of sad, but what to do. Anyway, warlock cards. 2 mana, Darksire Librarian. Okay, we have a free 2. And Battlecry, discard a random card. This was shown in the stream as well. So basically, when you toss out a card, toss out the Darkshire Librarian, you also need to toss out a card. But when she dies, well, you get back a card. Not sure this is good though, especially if the archetype has changed into a more control based. So what you want to do is just keep as many cards in your hand, right? So discarding a card is actually kind of not what you want to do anymore in the new meta. So I'm not so sure. And then you're cycling cards, right? I mean, you do get a card back, but you're just gonna deck out faster than say a priest, because priest is gonna keep stealing cards and they won't run out of cards, right? So yeah, Darkshire Librarian, it's okay for the stat line, but I don't think it might be playable, I guess. The next card. This is an OP card, especially when played alongside, where's that card again? Spawn of N'Zoth, right? Yeah. A Brood of N'Zoth, right? So Forbidden Ritual is spend all your mana, summon that many 1/1 tentacles. So what you want to do, that was actually shown in the stream earlier today, was that Brood of N'Zoth was played first. It was like, oh okay, he doesn't have minions, so I'm not gonna kill it, right? Wrong, you still have to kill it as soon as you want, because when you don't kill this guy, suddenly there are like what, 5 tentacles out and about, and then suddenly he just suicides the Brood of N'Zoth, and all your tentacles are 2/2. So what are you gonna do? Unleash the hounds? That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. So Forbidden Ritual is really good, very versatile, very flexible, and very deadly. Alright, you see what I did there? Tentacles are flexible. No? Yes? No? Okay, so the next card we have a 5 mana 5/3 Usher of Souls. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. Again, it's another Cthulhu card. So basically, Blizzard is getting every single class to try and play Cthulhu. The stat line is pretty good. So, and whenever a friendly minion dies, right? Can you imagine the possibilities of Forbidden Ritual alongside Usher of Souls? This is pretty good card, considering that you kill off most of your minions anyway. Zoolock? Zoo Cthulhu Lock? Yes? Okay, next card. 3 mana Darkshire Councilman. It's a 1 mana, no, it's a 3 mana 1/5. After you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. So again, another possibility of comboing would be Darkshire Councilman into Forbidden Ritual, right? But the thing is, if you play, the most you can play is the most minions you can play is 7 minions. This is 1 minion already, so +6, right? The most tempo you can get is 6. So technically it's a 3 mana 7/5. Okay, that's actually pretty nutballs. And then you get a board of insane tentacles. Yeah. this might be playable, especially for Zoo, but yeah, it's very comboable with Forbidden Ritual. This card is insane. Um, expect to see it everywhere. Warlocks are gonna play this. Okay, Warrior, let's go. 7 mana legendary, Melkorok. Battlecry, equip a random weapon. Okay, so Melkorok has a 6/5 stat line. He doesn't have charge, but he gives you a weapon. He gives you a weapon, a random weapon. So RNG time. Tsutsuro, I will show you the 0 mana spells later. Alright, so let's look at all the weapons that are available right now, right? We have Fiery War Axe, Light Justice, Arcanite Reaper, Assassin's Blade, Stormforge Axe, True Silver Champion. Okay, so far only Light Justice not so good, right? The rest are still decent weapons. Then we have Argent Lance, which is 2/2, maybe not so good. Cursed Blade is the worst that you can get, but it's also a 2/3, right? So double all damage dealt to your hero is not what you want to get as a warrior. But then again, you have a lot of armor anyway, so what the heck, right? So the best weapons you can get are, say, Doomsayer, Gladiator's Longbow, Gorehowl. If you get Poison Blade, you're kind of sad, but these are the 3 that you want to get, right? You don't even want to get Charged Hammer, because Charged Hammer is going to change your hero power, and as a warrior, you just want to armor up, right? That's your win condition. So yeah, these 3 weapons are OP, and we have the new weapons. Rallying Blade, which isn't that good because you're a warrior, so you're not going to have Divine Shield. And the Battle Cry effect doesn't even proc anyway, so what the hey. Then we have Hammer of Twilight, which is insane. This is also a good card. And you have a shitty weapon, Tentacles for Arms. And it's a warrior card, so you're kind of screwed if you get this one. Oh my gosh, that's a bad card. So you can only discover standard cards? Yes, you can only discover standard cards in standard. Like, you can, they won't let you discover wild cards in standard. That's just too OP, right? Yeah. Next card we have for Warrior is a 3 mana 3/4. Bloodsail Cultist and Battlecry. If you control a pirate, give your weapon +1/+1. We saw a lot of pirate synergy earlier in the stream today, and it was actually pretty good. Like, if you have a Gorehowl with a +1/+1, that's pretty insane. And what else? What else can you have? Hammer of Twilight? Oh no. What other weapons? Fiery War Axe, yeah, pretty good too. Arcanite Reaper +1/+1 is pretty good too. Basically, what happened was Frodan had a 3/1 Fiery War Axe. Then he played Bloodsail Cultist, and he became a 4/2. So he hit again, and then he played another Bloodsail Cultist. He became a 5/3, right? So it's actually pretty insane. Yeah, Melkorok is not good. Melkorok is like eh. It's Blingtron, but it gives you only gives you the weapon, right? So it's not that good. There are only how many weapons that are good? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weapons that are good. The rest are all decent, and then there are like 4 weapons that are bad as well. So yeah, not so good. Okay, so we have Blood to Ichor. Blood to Ichor is a 1 mana spell that deals 1 damage to a minion. If it survives, summon a 2/2 slime. This is basically a card to help you gain tempo and try and stop the bleeding, especially against aggro decks that have minions that have more than 1 mana and 1 HP, right? Yeah. So basically, if they're trying to keep smorking you, you can just even Blood to Ichor yourself, for example. You're one of your minions, and then you get a 2/2 slime. It doesn't have taunt, but it gives you tempo. It gives you tempo. And a 2/2 slime and 1 mana 2/2 is actually pretty strong. Like, where do you get a 1 mana 2/2? It's insane. It still deals 1 damage, right? So basically it's like an Elven Archer that is a 2/2. Wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I was showing all the standard weapon. I didn't show Death Spite, right? There's no Death Spite here. This is all standard. Okay, so we have the final warrior minion. It's a 4 mana, 2/6 with taunt and enraged +3 attack. Okay, this is good. This is a good card. I mean, like, if you looked at the previous enraged taunts, it's like Tauren warrior. That was really bad. like it's a 2/3 with enrage. Like how the heck are you gonna enrage that shit, right? It's gonna just die anyway, right? So Bloodhoof Brave is actually really good. You taunt, you enrage, and then you just go face. I mean, it's simple as that. People cannot get through this without having trouble. Yeah, it's a 2/6 with taunt. Unless they silence it, pretty much it's gonna stick on the board and it's gonna enrage, and you're gonna get value from that enrage. So yeah, it's a good card. Who needs Fierce Monkey when you have Bloodhoof Brave, right? Or you can even play both, and then you can bolster. That's insane. That's pretty good. So yeah, now we have the neutral cards. Oh my god, how am I gonna finish all this? There's so many cards. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so we have our first neutral legendary, a Twin Emperor Veclor. Okay, it's a taunt. It's a 7 mana taunt with a 4/6 stat line. It's like, what the hey, you asked me to spend 7 mana for a 4/6? The text had better be good, right? But it's a Cthulhu card, and it says, if your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, summon another Emperor. So basically it summons another 4/6 that has taunt as well. So it's a Kagebunshi no Jutsu, right? So it's a shadow clone of the Emperor. So there's another Emperor, it's called Vec. I don't know, it's something Vec as well. So it's a Cthulhu card, and usually by the time you hit 7 mana, your Cthulhu definitely has at least 10 attack, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a 7 mana 4/6/4/6 with taunt. A total stat line of 8 plus 12. No, 8 and 12. So 8 attack for 12 health. Insane, pretty good, but prerequisite. So situational. Next card, 2 mana Net the Dark Fisher. So Net Pago has got corrupted. At the start of your opponent's turn, they have a 50. Why did they? Oh my god! Why did they do this? At the start of your opponent's turn, they have a 50% chance to draw an extra card. Okay, so even when corrupted, Net Pago is bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, fine, you have a 2/4 stat line, but you don't. Oh my god. Yeah, I wouldn't play this card. Net Pago is free dust, people. Net Pago is free dust, even when corrupted. Next card, we have a 5 mana Crazed Worshipper Taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, you give your Cthulhu +1/+1. Basically, this will be in all your warrior patron warrior decks, patron warrior Cthulhu decks. I really don't know how you're gonna fit everything together in 30 cards, but this is how it is. So we're gonna have to see how it works. I think it's good as long as people hit it, and it has taunt, so people are gonna hit it anyway. So yeah, your Cthulhu is gonna. Your Cthulhu's gonna get at least a +1/+1. That's okay. Okay, Dark Speaker is an insane card. Alright, this is an epic card worthy of its rarity. Dark Speaker is a 5 mana 3/4 that swaps stats with a friendly minion, right? Like, if you thought Vol'jin was good, this is insane, okay? Technically, you're playing a whatever stat line you have, and you're gonna protect something else that have a lower HP card. Like for example, like in the stream it was the Manatite Totem, right? He swapped health and attack with the Manatite Totem. Manatite Totem becomes a 3/6, and it keeps drawing cards. That's not balls. That's crazy. And can you think of the possible implications of this card? Like, we have so many cards that like introduces copies of 1/1 copies of the thing, right? Like the Rogue card. Well, what's the Rogue card again? The Rogue card that has a Shadowcaster, right? Shadowcaster, you get something that you want to copy, and then you play it with the Battlecry effect, and then you swap stats with it. So good! So good! Like what? Suddenly your Dark Speaker becomes a 1/1, and whatever you copied, say a Malygos, becomes a 3/6, and it can't really die, right? 3/6, come on. So, oh my gosh, Dark Speaker has so many uses. We are going to see so many good plays out of this card. This is insane. This is insane. Yeah, it's a good card. Good card. Okay, Now the next card is an anti-aggro card, anti-zoo card basically. So it's a 4 mana Cyclopean Horror as a 3/3 stat line, but it has taunt, and its battle cry is gain +1 health for each enemy minion. So technically it can be it can totally become a free 10, right? And earlier in the stream it was played alongside Brand Bronzebeard, which doubles the effect. So it suddenly becomes a Jaraxxus with taunt. Think about that. Jaraxxus with taunt.
Why is it night time?
Alright, hang on, let me just... thank you Susuru for subbing, for following, sorry. Yeah, that is just nutballs. Okay, so next card, oh my gosh, Doomcaller. 8 mana, 7/9, a rare card. Battlecry, give your Cthulhu +2/+2 wherever it is. If it's dead, shuffle it into your deck. So basically what happens is, if Cthulhu is dead, well, you can't really give a +2/+2, right? But you will just put Cthulhu back into your deck. Like, what the hey? You just revived Cthulhu with this card, this 8 mana card. I mean, by the time you hit 8 mana, you're probably gonna die already, so maybe it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's something to think about. I wouldn't play this card per se, but yeah, it's something to think about. The stat line is good enough as it is anyway. Alright, so we have a 6 mana Corrupted Seer, a battle cry to deal 2 damage to all Murloc minions. So we have a 2/3. Oh, okay. So the Coldlight Seer kind of adds 2 health to all Murlocs. So now it deals 2 damage to all non-Murlocs. Yeah, it's kind of like a Demon Wrath, but it costs 6 mana. I'm not sure if it's playable. Like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's playable. Like, no. Murloc decks are all dying. No. Even Murloc Paladins don't play this card. Yeah, all non-Murloc decks. So Demon Wrath, yeah, no, not good, not playable. Okay, Midnight Drake, 4 mana, 1/4, gain +1 attack for each other card in your hand. So it's the opposite now, right? Sorry. Twilight Drake was 4/1, and then you gain 1 health for each other card in your hand. And this time around, it's just the opposite. Is it playable? I guess a 4 health is pretty good. 4 health is pretty good, and it's a dragon, so dragon synergy OP, I guess. This makes Deathwing a little bit more playable as well, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind a 1/4 that is like dragged out onto the board, but I definitely mind a 4/1 that's dragged onto the board. That's stupid. Like, I rather have something that sticks on the board. Alright. Okay, next card. A 4 mana Blackwater Pirate. A 2/5 stat line. Your weapons cost 2 less. Oh my god, can you imagine? All these weapons costing 2 less? Pretty good! But probably only playable in Warrior right now because rogue weapons are kind of like, you don't have Blade Flurry anyway. What are you gonna do with your life? So yeah. Anyway, next minion we have a 3 mana Disciple of Cthulhu. Apparently pandas are also Disciples of Cthulhu. So we deal 2 damage and give your Cthulhu +2/+2. Stat line is 2/1, not so good, but hey, you deal 2 damage, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. And it gives you +2/+2 for Cthulhu, right? It's basically tempo for the late game. Okay, I will play that card in Cthulhu deck, probably. Now the next card, we have a 3 mana 3/5 Silithid Swarmer. This minion can only attack if your hero attacked this turn. So that narrows it down to like what? Druids, Paladins, Rogues, Warriors, and Hunters. I don't think the other classes attack. Priest, Warlock, and Mage don't attack. So did I miss a class? Never mind. So yeah, not so playable, I guess. It's only uh, five classes that can play this card, and it's like free mana, free 5. I mean power creep, right? But can only attack if your hero attack this turn, and sometimes you just don't want to attack, right? You want to save the weapon charge for something more useful, and this forces you to use it anyway. I'm not so sure if this is good. A 10 mana 10/10 faceless behemoth. Nothing to say here. Move on. It's like a war golem, so it's not good. It's not a good card. It's not a good card. 8 mana Eldritch Horror. It's a 6/10. Nothing to say here except that it's 10 health. Maybe it won't die. And BGH cannot kill it. Okay, this is slightly better than this, right? A 10 mana 10/10 is like, oh my gosh. This is just for arena 6, I guess. This card is at least a little bit more playable, but it's not that good as well. It doesn't have taunt, so doesn't have charge. Give it charge as a mark. But yeah, nothing to say. 7 mana Bog Creeper is 6/8 stat line. Wow, Fan Creeper got an upgrade. Fan Creeper got a crazy upgrade. Stat wise, it's fine. You're paying for the stats and the taunts. This is a balanced card. 7 mana Grotesque Dragon Horde. Wind Fury 5/5. Is that good? People don't even play the other Wind Fury girl harpy thing, right? So why would they play this card? The other Wind Fury was a 4/5, right? It's 6 mana 4/5. This is a 7 mana 5/5. Nah, nobody's gonna play this card. You can skip these Boulder Fist Ogres? Yeah, pretty much. Alright, so next, it's a Nerubian Prophet. It's a 6 mana 4/4. And it's the start of your turn, reduce this card cost by 1. Okay, this one, give it a PogChamp, everybody. Give it a PogChamp. So basically, you can keep it like, oh my god, usually when you have a starting hand and you want a mulligan, right? You see a 6 mana card, you're like, ugh, disgusting, remove this, right? But this one, you're like, oh my god, I got a 6 mana card in my starting hand, I'm just gonna keep it, right? And then at turn 3, I get to play a 4/4. Decent. This is a much better turn 3 4/4 than say an Arcane Golem, which is terrible. Arcane Golem gives the opponent one mana crystal, right? This one doesn't give it anything, so it's actually good. But that's where it ends, right? That's where it ends. Like, other than that, it becomes a really bad card. I mean, you can play it as a zero mana card if you keep it for 6 turns, but you kind of want to play it as early as possible for tempo, and the earliest possible playable turn is turn 3. So yeah, decent, I guess, but you don't want to keep this in your hand for too long, unless you have other playable cards. Yeah. Oh, Annoyatron got an upgrade. 5 mana, 3/4 Taunt Divine Shield. So instead of using a horn, now he just plays an electric guitar. Yeah, as if Annoyatron wasn't annoying enough, at least this one costs a little bit more. At least this one costs a little bit more. So people can't, like, you know, play a big minion and then hello, 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 and it laughs at you, and as you just cry and, you know, concede. So yeah, at least this is much better. For its effect, Taunt Divine Shield, this is much better. This can be compared to, say, a Sunwalker, right, which is a 6 mana 4/6, right? So technically, a Sunwalker is much better. For the mana, for an extra mana, I get a 4, +1 attack and +2 health. I think Sunwalker is still a little bit better than Psychotron, but this is definitely still playable. Definitely still playable. Okay, a 4 mana Evolved Kobold. Oh my god, Kobold. I was just talking about you. So a Kobold, the normal Kobold was a 2 mana 2/2 with spell damage +1, right? And well, Evolved Kobold gives you +1 more spell damage for 2 more mana. I think that's a little bit overcosted. I think it's overcosted. I still think it's overcosted. I mean, like, I'd rather play something like a Blood Mage Taunos. Yeah, that would be better. Alright, we have the next card. 4 mana card, Aberrant Berserker. That's a 3/5 stat line, and Rage +2 attack. I like this health because now he can actually take damage and rage. But yeah, there's nothing much to say about this card. This is quite vanilla. Free. I'm gonna skip this one. So this is also vanilla. This like Magma Rager, the opposite. So basically, that's how they named it, right? Magma Rager. Really? You and Amaz need to do a voice battle of cards. Oh my god, Amaz. Well, if I actually get to know Amaz, that would be cool. But yeah, I don't know Amaz. Okay, now we have a Squirming Tentacle. Squirming Tentacle. 3 mana, 2/4 with taunt. It's just a generic taunt card. Basic stat line, nothing much to say. 2 mana, Twilight Geomancer, taunt. Battle Cry, give your Cthulhu taunt. Whoa. Okay, this is a good card. This is a good card. You give Cthulhu taunt, right? Wow. Wow, this is nutballs. Why wouldn't you play this card? Like, if your Cthulhu is like 36, right? And you're facing a control warrior, so you like deal 36 to him and he still doesn't die. But well, what you gotta do with this now? Like, you can't shield slam it because I got rid of all your armor, and well, maybe execute is a thing. But yeah. Yeah, so Twilight Geomancer giving Cthulhu taunt is actually pretty good. Unless you're up against Black Knight, of course. Black Knight is not a card that you wanna play against. But nobody plays Black Knight anymore. Maybe because nowadays there are a lot of taunts. Black Knight might be might finally be playable again. But for now, I'm not so sure. We'll see. Okay, so it's a 2 mana Dust Boar for 1. Who's gonna play this card? Like, nobody. It doesn't have charge. Why doesn't it have charge? Boars need to have charge. This is a bad card. 2 mana, Bilefin, Tide Hunter, summon a 1/1 ooze with taunt. This is good. If you want to play Murloc Shaman, maybe you can play this card. Bilefin, Tide Hunter. You have an ooze with taunt. That's good enough. And then anything can happen. Oh, that might be playable. Oh, Geomancer also has taunt. Yeah, right. Okay, so next we have a 2 mana Twisted Worgen with 3/1 stat line. Basically, it's a Worgen Infiltrator that has been corrupted and it becomes a 3/1. So you pay 1 extra mana for 1 extra damage. That's okay, I guess. That's okay. And the final card. Is Zealous Initiate. Alright, so Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +1/+1. So, I mean, if you really have no other 1-drops to play, this is actually a decent 1-drop. I mean, Argent Square is good enough, but if you want to play Zealous Initiate, I'm not going to blame you. It's a fine card. Whispers of the Old Gods hits our tavern at 26th of April, so I'll be streaming the opening of my 50 packs, and we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.